gonna try something new here. I'll start out by bluntly telling you guys my honest opinion about the movie, and then I'll spend the whole time justifying the argument. So, Illang, the Wolf Brigade, is it good? No. It's seriously in the running. It's competing to be the biggest flop of the year, both critically and commercially. But is it complete shit? Not really, no. It's, I mean, there's a lot of Korean bloggers and moviegoers out there who's spreading the word that this project is a disaster compared to films like last year's Real and Psychokinesis of earlier this year. And it's starting to get on my nerves because that's bullshit. Those are some fucked up provocative comments meant to garner attention and likes on social media. Now that being said, The Wolf Brigade is a giant disappointment, and in no way does it surpass the original Japanese anime, which I'll elaborate more later on. And I'm guessing there's at least a few of you out there who's only watching because they want some more info on Minho, Han Hyo-ju, and Kang Do-won's performance. And I won't talk about them in length, but I will get to it, so keep your pants on. The film is set in 2029, where South and North Korea get ready for a unified government after years of preparation. The abrupt unification launches the nation into peril, causing the tension among the public to rise. As a countermeasure, the South Korean government launches a special metropolitan anti-terror unit to stop an anti-reunification terrorist group called the Sect. This is as far as I can go without spoiling anything. So obviously this film is based on the infamous Japanese anime Jinro, one of Mamoru Oshii's best works in my opinion. And apparently Oshii himself thought this project would work even better as a live-action film back when he first started it, and I agree. So when Kim Jee-Woon bought the rights and announced it as his next project, I was thrilled. I mean, the resident genre master of Korea adapting Oshii, I thought it was the perfect match. Unfortunately, this was not the case at all, and one by one I'll start explaining my reasons why. Right off the bat, the screenplay is a hot mess. Those of you who've seen the original anime will know that while it may look like an action flick, it's in fact a dead serious drama about nihilism, which is really why the story works over there. However, Kim Jee-Woon's adapted screenplay, it tries to be so many different things. The film starts out as kind of an summer action thriller and switches abruptly over to a full-on romance, only to reveal that it actually meant to be the deadpan drama that the anime did so well. I honestly don't understand why the filmmakers went down this road. If you really want to do all those, then mix the best parts of each genre and do them at the same time, like Bong Joon-ho does. Hell, I don't even have to bring in Bong Joon-ho on this. Kim Jee-Woon, the director, himself used to pull this off just fine in his early filmography. Instead, they do all these different genres separately, and they feel so awkward put together. How are the audience supposed to be invested in a story that shifts its mood every act for no apparent reason? I understand that these guys wanted to make something of their own. They didn't want to make a carbon copy of the source material, and that's very respectable. But the concept and decision that they ultimately went with is just so unbaked and meaningless. And just a side note on the script here, what the actual fuck is up with the dialogue? Just so you know, a considerable amount of the lines in the script are extremely tacky and dated. You'll know what I mean once you get to see it, but a lot of the dialogue, especially in some crucial scenes, feel like they're picked right off from an 80s TV show. There are some moments where you literally can't take any of the characters seriously because of it. The direction isn't doing the movie any favors as well. We got Kim Jee-Woon as the frontman here. Now, like I've said, this guy has always been known for his versatility of chosen genres, even in his lesser works like this. There was always that good old-fashioned punch, that energy of well-made genre satisfaction. If there was one thing I was counting on this movie to be or to have, it was that aspect. And, well, was I wrong. The one big action sequence of the film that's featured in the first act, it's supposed to push the audience to the edge. It's meant to start the movie off with a bang. Even that sequence is pretty loose. The pacing is all cluttered, and you don't really feel the tension that the characters on screen are supposedly drowning in. He's made a few mediocre films before, but a Kim Jee-Woon film devoid of any genre fun? Now that I did not expect. Moving on to the very insignificant music. It's done by Moog, who a few of you may know he's done some great work collaborating with some top-tier directors, most recently the Lee Chang-dong film Burning. But he is pretty prolific, which means that he is more of a hit-or-miss kind of composer. And in this case, it's definitely a giant miss. You know those generic stockpile Hollywood music you hear so loudly in nearly every big chase scene or showdown in summer movies? It's that. The music of Illang is literally that. Don't know why they went with it, but it's true. Annoyingly loud and forgettable, it's like they want you to not concentrate in some of the bigger scenes. However, the song featured at the end of the film, over the credits, is actually beautiful, poignant even. But guess what? That's the single piece of music they brought straight in from the anime. What a surprise. And now's the part where I talk about what a lot of the people were interested in, the performances. So the cast of Illang is full of stars from both indie and mainstream fame. You got Kang Do-won, Han Hyo-ju, Jung Woo-sung, Kim Woo-yeol, Minho of K-pop fame, Han Ye-ri, and some others too. And hear me out, I do want to praise the cast because from what I've been hearing, they've all been pretty dedicated to the project. And they all gave respectively fine performances, I'm not denying that. But when parts of the screenplay and the character developments are sloppily done, there's no real point in complimenting their performance. Like I've said before, some of the dialogue these characters have are laughably bad, and unless you're an actor on the same caliber as, say, Daniel Day-Lewis or Jun Do-yeon, I'm gonna laugh out loud regardless of the actor's performance. This applies especially to the 4 actors with the bigger roles, and as for Minho and Han Ye-ri, I really have nothing good or bad to say about them because their characters have very limited screen time and frankly do feel unnecessary. Yet another issue I gotta bring up while I'm talking performances is the poor quality of the audio mixing. Koreans will know about this, but the sound editing and the mixing of this film is awful, especially the vocal audio mixing. Because I'm a born and raised Korean, and I couldn't properly hear a third of the dialogue, especially the ones from Kang Do-won and Han Hyo-ju. Granted, Kang Do-won is not an actor known for his crisp and clear delivery. He's always had problems with his vocalization. He has this weird Korean accent where he sort of mixes both the urban and rural dialects. But this time around, I don't think it's his fault. Apart from maybe Kim Woo-yeol, most of the other actors' speeches had trouble crossing over the screen. And that's mainly because of the poor mixing quality, there's no doubt about that. And it's issues like these, technical problems like the mixing, the editing, and the cinematography that I'm having even more trouble understanding, because if we take a quick look through Kim Jee-Woon's filmography, he might have had some issues here and there with the screenplay being a bit bland or a bit sloppy, but never with the technical aspects. He always knew how to compose scenes and shots with some impressive production design as well. However, all of the above components of Illang is just not up to his usual standards. I don't know what went wrong, but he really dropped the ball on this one. I feel like I've been doing nothing but shitting on this movie for the past few minutes, but that really isn't it. It's true that I'm heavily disappointed, but let me tell you that's also because my expectations were just that high. Although I'm positive Illang is Kim Jee-Woon's worst movie to date, it's still at the very worst a slightly below average movie. It's not like it's an abomination, people. There have been and will be worse anime adaptations. I mentioned this in my other mini-review, but the film isn't totally devoid. It isn't totally empty of the pathos and the cold, hollow atmosphere that the original anime is so full of. So if you like the anime, I'd still recommend you to give this a go. Just don't expect it to be any good. I think that wraps it up. Those were my thoughts on the long-awaited Illang, the Wolf Brigade. There are a lot of other highly anticipated Korean films just around the corner. Personally, I have high hopes for Kongjak, also known as The Spy Gone North, which is the new film from Yoon Jong-bin. And I'll try and make reviews for all these as well. As always, if you liked the review or thought it was bullshit, be sure to like or dislike the video, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys soon.